Our speaker today is Nicholas De Agosto, a UU seminarian at Meadville Lombard Theological School. He's set to graduate with a Master of Divinity degree in May of 2026. He currently serves as the Intern Minister at the Throop UU Church in Pasadena. He's also been a professional TV film actor for over 20 years. His podcast, God and Other Delicacies, GOD, begins with the question, how and when were you introduced to the idea of God in your life? And follows the guest's journey from there. A longtime LA resident who was born in Omaha, Nebraska, Nicholas lives in North Hollywood with his wife, his son, and his dog. Please join me in welcoming Nicholas De Agosto.
Thank you all so much for having me back here. It's a joy to be back here. And one of the things that I remember, but again, I underestimated once again, you are so familiar with each other. There's such a tight bond. There's an informality that demonstrates your comfort with each other and your openness. That's how it appears. I hope that's how it feels. That is it's really palpable. And so of the sermons that I offered to the worship committee today, you chose, why do we gather? And one of the things about it is, I'm including some people who may not have been here long. I'm speaking to some congregations where there's a lot of new faces, or you may not know each other as well as all of you know each other. So one thing I'd like to ask all of you to do, the sermon's fine, everything's gonna be fine. But what I wanna say is, I think a really great place to start for this particular community is to actually have a moment of shared stillness where you all sit and reflect about the first time you walked in these doors. And for many of you, that might have been so many years ago. I really don't know how long it might have been. But my guess is for some of you, it's been a long time since you thought about what brought you in these doors. And if you would, please, I'll just take a minute for all of us to have a shared stillness. Doesn't have to be silent, but just a moment where we reflect on, why did we come here? All right, let's begin. You've chosen to be here. I've yet to meet a Unitarian Universalist who felt guilted into showing up at church on a Sunday. We're a chosen family. We choose to be here, and we can come and go freely. Why come to this church? Well, here's some of what we know Unitarian Universalism is striving to be: equitable and inclusive. Every person should have the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We're striving to be pluralistic. We celebrate our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We don't come here because of a deistic fear. Our Universalist roots ensured for us that we would not be a people that lived in fear of a malicious divine entity. We don't believe in a hell as described, although Matthew could probably teach me some stuff about what Satanists would say about hell. I don't know. Probably speak about it differently. But we do not speak about hell from the Christian perspective. We don't believe in a capricious God who's watching over our shoulder, picking and choosing who is punished and who is absolved. We are here, I believe, because we want the ability to gather in a community, like-minded people, where all of us, regardless of race, gender, background, economic status, disability, appearance, or theological point of view, can embody our true, authentic, vulnerable selves, alongside strangers who, over time, might not become less strange, but may become more known. This idea means more to me now than it's ever meant in my lifetime. Some of our friends are in danger when they live out their authentic selves in public. That is why it is imperative that this church, and every church, be a microcosm of the world we dream to live in. I dream of a world that has, among other things, reasonable reproductive rights, nuanced immigration laws, affirming trans language and documentation, compassionate and realistic tax policies. None of this stuff is foreign to any of you. You've all named it already here in worship today. I can't magically alter the national anthem. We can't change how others teach their children. But we can demonstrate our support for our loved ones in this space. One way to do that is by asking people what's on their minds and hearts and truly offering them the presence of empathically listening to their concerns, even if those concerns make us feel uncomfortable or afraid. It's much more uncomfortable and frightening for the person who's truly in danger. Another small action is respecting what people's pronouns are. I imagine everyone here is, the vibe I get here is you're all on board with that. But you know, as you might know, might have heard, it's still a struggle everywhere we go. It's hard for us to learn this. It was hard for me to learn it. We sincerely want, because we make mistakes. And we sincerely want to get pronouns right because for some people, we might be the only truly safe space where they can be themselves. And we genuinely want to honor everyone for who they are. This needs to be a loving and supportive space for all of us, no matter how you got here or why. For instance, you might have first walked in the door because you have a faith in God, but you wanted to worship in a construct that is more aligned with your ethical values. It might be because you wanted to be more active in movements for social change. It might be that you just moved to the area and you want to meet people. An entirely understandable reason for coming to a church. Whatever the case, at some point you must have decided that these people are close enough to my kind of people, and you were willing to give this community a shot. Toby Lowe from the Center for Public Impact defines community as a group of people who share an identity-forming narrative. Not everyone in our society has the impulse to seek out a diverse group of basically strangers where they can participate in and create an identity-forming narrative. It's awkward for a lot of people. Even though studies have proven that loneliness is an epidemic in this country and about as dangerous to one's health as any of our traditionally bad human habits and vices. But there are a lot of communities we can find, right? For example, I'm a Nebraska Cornhusker sports fan. Thank you so much. Thank you for welcoming me. You might be a seasoned subscriber to a performing arts center, a library fanatic, a food truck follower, or someone in an online book club. The community is necessary to us all, and we can belong to many of them, and they can all feed us. But there are very few communities I'm in where I talk about my deepest hopes and fears or articulate the world I want my son to inherit when I'm gone. It's the reason I found myself back in a church community, and the pull was so strong and the benefits so real that I found myself called to leadership in it. When I'm really talking about what I want for my son, that means I'm talking to people who feel like family to me. I am trusting that they have a heightened level of care for the interest and future of my family. And so our congregations are a kind of family, and our churches a kind of home. The church is not our residence. We can't sleep here. I don't know, maybe some of you sleep here. I don't know. It's our spiritual home. In this home, we pledge ourselves to certain Unitarian Universalist ethics and values. We hold ourselves to a high standard of loving communal conduct, and we have clear and conscientious ways that we make amends for breaches of that standard if and when it occurs. Not everyone can fit inside our circles of community, and that's okay. But pretty much everyone is welcome to try and to come and see what we offer. Your community is a reflection of what we offer. It is infused with your interpretation of our UU values and symbols. You have sacrificed to make this space an authentic expression of your best and hopeful selves, and that is no small thing. Now, like a lot of homes, there's other family living here, and I don't know about you, but sometimes my family and I disagree. I don't have exclusive rights to my home. I have to share my home with my family. I have to negotiate with my family, and inevitably and really daily, I have to navigate conflict with my family in my home. But conflict isn't inherently bad. Priya Parker, in her book, The Art of Gathering, stresses that conflict unearths purpose. It is, in fact, through healthy conflict that we can show sides of each other without risk to our safety. Controversy of the right kind can be clarifying. It can help you use gatherings to answer big questions. What do you want to do? What do you stand for? Who are you? This is the gift of a community that can act like a loving family. We can challenge each other in what should be respectful and generous ways, with different ideas, different priorities, different purposes, all in the service of growing our individual broad-mindedness and evolving for the betterment of our family unit as a whole. We should also be able to turn to our family for help. I've witnessed this firsthand at Throop as a result of the devastating fires in Pasadena. The congregation rallied around each other, and they are still showing up, still showing care. I'm sure you are all doing that here in your own ways. But the catch is, this type of bonding doesn't happen without offering your vulnerability. And apparently you're going to get another sermon about this next week. Priya Parker, again, being vulnerable with people makes them feel for you. Every time people gather, they are being brought into the opportunity to help one another, to do what they couldn't do, or think up, or heal alone. It is in gathering that we meet those who could help us, and too often it is in gathering that we pretend not to need them because we have it all figured out. Vulnerability implies revealing to others certain things we might experience as sad, or frightening, or confusing. It can be very uncomfortable to show our vulnerability. And it's scary to risk burdening other people with it. I feel vulnerable when I mispronounce someone, for instance. And I'm scared of hurting people for all kinds of reasons. But as far as I can tell, the only way to get over that is just by talking to people. Being forthcoming and letting them know I'm willing to make mistakes, honest mistakes, in the hopes of being in a deeper relationship with them. And this church should be the kind of place where we can take those chances and make those mistakes. Unitarian Universalism, under the new Article 2 value of justice, has embraced the concept of the beloved community made famous by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Its pillars are inclusivity, shared power, mutual compassion, respect of difference, and a commitment to institutional transformation. We gather together here in part to pledge ourselves to the pursuit of this radical act of equality. We are making a statement with our presence. Anyone, literally anyone, is my equal here, is my known community, and I will share space with them as a testament to my values in life, which do not place my inherent worth and dignity above others. We are not the same, and we don't and cannot possibly agree on everything. Solidarity, not consensus. Equality, not sameness. We are offering an open door. What's behind that door is what we make together, how we help each other, celebrate each other, navigate conflict between each other, make amends and forgive each other, and mark the years alongside each other. The beloved community is our commitment to do this in an open and inclusive space that upholds our UU values. M. Sean Copeland says that there are 3 duties of a theologian: witness, memory, and lament. To gather together in communal witness, to carry each other's memories and offer this generosity to others, to lament your loss and the losses in the world around you during our present cultural age of performative cruelty. This is an act of religious courage. Take solace that you are not alone, neither in the historical record nor amongst other people, both here and afar, who are of good heart and mind and soul, yearning for a better day. Amen, and blessed be.